Yes, it is only 4.1mm thick when unfolded, making it the world's thinnest foldable, but is there more to it? Looking at the design, we have a blend of Honor anti-scratch nano crystal shield on your front 6.5-inch cover display, and then opening up into your larger 7.95-inch display, which has an Honor super armored inner protection. When folded, the size only increases to 8.8mm, which includes your fairly large camera bump, which is more centered on this device and offers less wobble compared to the Z Fold series. Moving along its sleek designed steel hinge, which has been improved and enhanced. An overall protection of this device has been increased from the V3 series, and they're saying it's about 10 times more protected. And as well as increasing the protection, they've increased the IP rating, so it's now IP58 and 59 dust and water resistance, which means it can have a jet of water poked at the device. Don't recommend going and doing that, but it's nice to have that. And for the first time, I don't feel nervous about taking out a device and using this anywhere I go. So if we take a quick glance around our device, on the right hand side we have the volume and power buttons, which also house your fingerprint sensor. So you can use a fingerprint sensor or you could use a facial recognition. So this adds a level of security as well as an option to pay with your stored cards in your wallet. But I want to say here, it's a shame that there isn't no difference between these two buttons, only in size. So it would have been nice to have a tactile difference between the power button and the volume keys. I am actually shocked about this device that there is actually enough room for your USB-C ports at the bottom. So this allows you to charge your whopping 5,820 mAh battery at 66 watts wired, and then you have 50 watt wireless charging, and even the option to help charge up your mate's iPhone as it has 5 watt wired reverse charging. So next to that we have your SIM tray, which allows for a dual SIM or a combination of a physical SIM and eSIMs. You can go into the menu and change these. I've just used a physical SIM here. All of this is packaged up into such a neat and compact design, only weighing 217 grams. So I suppose you are like me and millions of others out there. You need to feed your content desire, just doom scrolling through social media, seeing what's happening, and you can just lose hours away. Worry no more, as you have your cover display, which is wide. It feels more like a standard candy bar design that we have seen from other devices, but allowing you to use the full use of your keyboard, and that's because it's slightly wider than previous models. It's 6.43 inches in size and has a resolution of 1060 by 2376. It's an LTPO OLED display, 120 Hz refresh rate. It has 5000 nits peak brightness, which is great for here in the UK at the moment as the sun is out. And then when you need even more room to enjoy content, actually want to do some productivity or multitasking, you can open up to your very impressive 7.95 inch OLED display, which has a resolution of 2352 by 2172, has up to 120 Hz refresh rate. It's an LTPO display again, so allows for the option to switch between 1 and 120 Hz depending on what you're doing. Again, it has a 5000 nits brightness, and I haven't experienced any issues again when out and about and using this every day and as much as I can while testing and reviewing. Offers over 1 billion colors and 100% DCI P3 wide color gamut. There's stylus support for both displays, so your cover display and this large interior display. One thing I've noticed from the beginning stages of foldables, there's been that crease. We're always going to have that crease, and it has been reduced more and more with new models. And this continues with the Honor Magic V5 as the crease is reduced by 30%. So it makes it actually near enough not visible, and I think over time you just forget it's there. You get to just enjoy your content, get on with you're doing, and you're not distracted by it. But it's good that they are improving, and technology will always develop and change. But talking about improvement, Honor continues to drive improvement and innovate new features for their camera, and they have continued with this model as they introduce their AI Falcon camera system, which works with Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Elite mobile platform. This enhances motion recognition, autofocus, and drives AI-powered large models for telephoto, night shots, and so much more. And as I'm talking, I want to share some shots I've taken recently in London. So I went on a bit of a sightseeing visit around London, and let me know if you've seen some of these sites in the comments down below. So let's start with our rear camera. These are all housed in our center little hexagon bump. So we have a 50 megapixel 23mm wide camera lens, which has an f1.6 and offers OIS, so optical image stabilization. Then we have our our 64 megapixel 70mm periscope telephoto lens, there's an f2.5 and OIS again. Then we finish up with our 50 megapixel 13mm ultra wide camera f2.0, so photo resolution up to 9216 by 6912 pixels, and it offers 3 times optical zoom and up to 100 times digital zoom. I've been really testing it out and trying it out. You've got 4K video recording at 30 or 60 frames at 10-bit, and then you've got 1080p at 30 or 60 frames again, and it's a gyro EIS/OIS depending on what options you're using. And then you've got your selfie camera, and they're both the same lens. So your interior display has a 20 megapixel wide camera, same as your cover display. It's an f2.2 in aperture. Photo resolution is up to 3840 by 5120 pixels. Offers 4K video recording at 30 frames per second, so no 60 frames here. Same at 1080p as well, only 30 frames per second. It has a gyro EIS. One thing I want to say, in the front-facing camera, I found it a little bit hard to focus on me at times. I think that's because it's more a fixed focus. So autofocus in the rear camera, the front-facing one seems to just be fixed on me without sort of trying to change the light and the background in me. So the clouds and the sunlight, where I had to manually change it to adjust. But this is where the blend of AI and the power of the device using AI, and especially the Google services and Qualcomm partnership woven throughout this device, it really does help on the back end as well. So you can take a photo, jump into that photo and see AI work its magic behind you and provide a crisp, clean image. And when testing and trying this, I found it just enjoyable, and it's great. Open it up to the bigger display and taking a photo, I get a really clear view of what I want. I could also set the option to see the photos I've just taken as well, so you can really scroll through and see what photos have worked, or if you need to take another shot. Within the camera settings, there are so many different options. You have the AI feature of a photo to video, so you can make a live video from one photo. That's always great fun to play around with. One of the other features I really enjoyed using was the dual mode, so I could film a video facing out at what I'm looking at and also give you a little bit of what I'm doing as well, so it faces me. There's so many different options in there, and there's so many things to go and discover. So in terms of your power and performance, this device runs Android 15 with Magic OS 9. Honor has committed to providing 7 years of security patches and OS updates in the UK and EU, ensuring our device lasts for longer and helping the environment by reducing the electronic waste, which is always important. One of the things I want to talk about a little bit later on within their Magic OS is eye comfort. So if you're like me and scrolling through your phone late at night, you need to check out this setting a little bit later on. My device has 16GB of RAM, there's 512GB of storage with no SD card option. As I've mentioned, it has the powerful Snapdragon 8 Elite 3nm chipset, which has a mixture of speeds in an octa-core processor. Its GPU is Adreno 830, allowing for immersive gaming sessions thanks to stereo speakers that just draw you into your content. So with Gemini and Honor AI woven so tightly throughout this device, you can experience a world of support, fast answers, or the option to have a laid-back experience and have a live chat with Gemini. A favourite feature of mine to use is Circle to Search. So activating Gemini either by pressing the power button, tapping the bottom of your display, or in an update that will be coming soon, you'll be able to double tap the back panel in a new feature called Tap Tap. This will activate Gemini for you. But find something you want to know more about, or if you're interested in buying it and wondered where it's from, who made it, or what brand made it, you can simply circle it and let the magic happen. So Google uses its AI system and search engine to find what that item is and then hopefully let you know where to buy it from or how much it costs. So within the software, there are little gems you're going to find that Honor has added, and I really like those and they're worth mentioning here. So being registered blind, I have been since birth, I head straight to the accessibility section where you'll find a full stocked section of settings and features to support those with a hearing impairment, so able to connect to a hearing aid, set audio balance, and also toggle on captions. Then for myself with a visual impairment, you can toggle on talk talkback that will narrate everything to you on your device. You can change the text size, you can also set the color correction as well. You can even use a magnifier to see everything up close if the larger display isn't enough. As I alluded to earlier, there's another feature here that really is a good point, and it's Honor's eye comfort display. So if you head into your control center and tap and hold the eye care icon, this will launch into its settings section for you, where you can change and adjust settings here to look at your eye comfort. Especially one of the options to use is your circadian rhythm. So this adjusts the light emitted from your display, allowing you to sleep easier, and especially during the night time. So if you're scrolling through your device at night, turn this on. It removes the harsh blue light emitted from your displays and allows us to sleep easier, and it doesn't disrupt our circadian rhythm, which is needed to go to sleep. And then for those who want to continue to use their device whilst traveling, that may be in a car, you won't be driving, it may be by train, plane or at sea, there's the Honor 360 motion sickness relief. So this is an option in the control center that you can toggle on that will add little dots across your display, will help reduce motion sickness. And Honor is saying it's got an 85% effectiveness. So definitely go and check it out and see what you think. For myself, when traveling in a car or by train, I've used this feature and it has really helped me because I have a nystagmus, which means my eyesight jumps around a little bit. So having this option feels like I can use my device more and more. So make sure when you have this device and you're traveling, go into the control center and tap this on and see if it helps for you too. The only point I want to add here from an accessibility point of view is improvement that they could add during your setup process. The accessibility settings there are only magnification and text size. So if they could integrate more settings to help when setting up your device, I think that would be a really big plus here. Honor has worked so hard on the Magic V5 and it shows. It's easy to use. I feel like I can take it most places. Too scared to head to the beach with a foldable, but if you're willing to, let me know and let me know how you get on. And then just having the two options of display. So a 6.45 inch display as a cover display is quite large and really helpful, and you can use it and get all your tasks done. But then allowing you to open it up to this huge 8-inch display means you can just enjoy your content. You can game, and I've found a significant difference between the Z Fold 7 battery. It's lasting me all day, which is impressive for myself because I am on my device a lot. Able to then quickly charge back up, either wired or wirelessly, which is really a benefit for myself. And one of its other key things here from productivity, so if you are worried about being productive and want to do tasks, Honor has introduced their multi-flex mode, and that allows you to use up to 3 apps open at the same time, and you can adjust them and select the sizes you want and swipe between them. This is great. So if I'm on YouTube, maybe replying to my comments, I may need to research an answer. I could load a file, or if I wanted to, I could then ask Gemini a question as well. So I can have 3 apps open at the same time. Maybe I want to check all of my social media channels. I can have all 3 of those open. You simply just swipe and then create a section, and those apps auto populate for you, and then when you dismiss them and go into a different app, they're still there. You can switch back and go back to the same thing. So you could be scrolling through TikTok, you could be watching YouTube, I could look at my X feed, I could be looking at my Instagram feed, I could be checking what I've got to actually do. And that's one thing, is actually reading this script and delivering this video. So one other key feature here to finish is the ease of connecting and sharing images and data with a Mac thanks to Honor Share. So yes, it's never been easy to have iOS and Android devices at the same time. It's always been a little bit difficult, but this helps share the incredible shots I have taken on the Honor Magic V5, so all of you can see them on my social media channels. So if you're considering the Honor Magic V5, be sure to check out the links in my video description. Also check out my unboxing and setup guide for the Honor Magic V5, which covers all of the must-know settings. Thanks for watching and have a great day.